Hi YouTubers, Rebecca Roy here from BigLoveWaves.com. And this is a new channel. I used my maiden name in the middle so that, because there's a lot of Rebecca Roys. So, I have this is the new channel. This is the very first YouTube video that's going to be on this channel. And I got a channeling from Archangel Raphael. But this channel is going to have a lot more than just channeling. My next YouTube is how to scry. And that's when you get information from looking into a bowl of water. So I'm going to give you a little mini lesson on how to do that. And I'm going to give you a channeling that I received while I was doing that. So this is a lot of fun. And I also know how to read tea leaves and use the pendulum. Use your crystal ball. I know how to do a lot of deviation tools. And so the deviation tools will be in my YouTube videos. I also have some ways for you to connect, to clean your energy, to help yourself with, say you're just been really, really emotional and you don't know why. I can help you to find where that energy is and help you remove that energy from you. I can also help you with healing. I'm an energy healer, and I can heal people in mass. And I have a group called Unity Consciousness Healers, and we heal people in mass. And so if you would like a healing, you can contact me at the universal God is great at gmail.com, and send me a picture and what is wrong with you. Your first name. We don't need your last name. Your first name. And we give mass healings every 2 weeks. But before the mass healing, we all go in and send healings to the people that request one. So you'll receive a heal. Some people are healed before we even do the mass healing. And understand this. If it's in your soul contract to have a disease, then you won't lose the disease. That doesn't mean we can heal that disease if it's in your soul contract. However, we can lessen the pain. So keep that in mind. Because that's a big thing when you can take the pain away, even if you still have the disease. If you can take away the pain, that is fabulous. So I want to read to you this channeling that I received from Archangel Raphael 2 days ago, and it took me a couple days to figure out how to make a new YouTube channel and etc. I have another YouTube channel. It is called The Universal God is Great, and you can look it up by Rebecca Roy. And there's a lot of videos on there about the angels and channeling, ascension symptoms, how to do things, different things. And so check that out too. And now I'd like to give you that channeling from a couple days ago because I think it's very important. Okay. So Archangel Raphael comes in, and I see him as a man, as a male, but some people see him as a female, but that's okay, because if you need to have the male energy, then you're going to see him as a male. If you need the female energy, you're going to see him as a female. I happen to need the male energy, so I see him as a male. Okay, so he starts, hello, hello, hello. He's always so happy. He is always so happy, just exuberant. He's full of joy. I want you all to know that life is going to seem difficult at times. Sometimes you're not going to be able to connect. Sometimes you'll be able to connect but not get to the information you want because it's too personal and you may have too many egoic attachments. However, we have not gone anywhere. And as you know, we are part of the one, and so of course they've not gone anywhere. We are still here. We are still guiding you. When you are having a transition and you are integrating the new energies, we help you to slow down. But that doesn't mean that we are not here with you. It just means that we are leveling you up or integrating the new energies. Enjoy the pause. Enjoy the pause and treat it like a gift, because life on earth can be hectic and difficult. When you are given a period of time where you can rest and integrate and just enjoy life, just being you, then there is really no problem for you to fix. He always does this with the fix. We want you to understand that there are no problems for you to fix. This is an ego-based thought process that you have been brought up into because the dark forces were controlling you. Therefore, your new paradigm, you will not have to strive so hard or have so many moments where you are completely stressed out about a problem, because you will realize that it is not a problem that you need to fix. You cannot fix things in the third dimension. The third dimension is duality, and these things have duality, so therefore it is very difficult for you, per se, to fix anything. Our suggestion is for you to go into the fifth dimension. What would it like to be in the fifth dimension? What would your job be like? What would your coworkers be like? What would your family be like in the fifth dimension? And really think about that. And how would you feel if you were in the fifth dimension? What would you see that is different? What could you touch that is different? Example, if you have a fear, you can close your eyes and put your hand out, and it works better if you're standing up. And you put your hand out and you feel, with your eyes closed, you feel for something dense, something thick, something not, just like you can run your hand right through it. And it could be in front of you, it could be down by your legs, it could be on either side, it could be behind you. I found something behind me today. And how you get rid of it is you go, no, I'm done. I'm done. Thank you, but I'm done. That's it. That's all you do. And that's how you find that fear. And it's by touching it. It's touching. You could feel it. You could see it through your third eye. There's many ways that you can do it, or you could just know it's there, or you could hear it. But the example that he gave me was you're touching it. Okay. Because you can physically feel it. If you were in the third dimension, you would not be able to do that. But in the fifth dimension, you can do that. We have to truly retrain our brain to think of things in the fifth dimension. If it's duality, it's not there, because in the fifth dimension, there is no duality. And I've been using this for the last 2 days because he gave it to me 2 days ago. And it is amazing. I'm going to finish reading this and then I'm going to talk about it. So go through your senses that you know that you have without going into psychic senses, just your senses, your regular, everyday 5 senses. And all these things can manifest emotion. So use your emotion to help you feel for it, to help you know it's there. Wake up in the morning, set the intention to be in the fifth dimension. Allow the energies to flow through you. Have the intention to allow magic to come into your life when you see magic, because you're going to expect magic, you're going to see it. And share that magic, share the magic with everyone else. With those that you love, your friends and your family, your coworkers, whoever you may think will benefit from the magic that is all around you. Begin by imagining what your family would be like in the fifth dimension, because there is a version of them in the fifth dimension. That is why you do not leave your family when you go into the fifth dimension. You are interacting with their fifth dimensional selves. So this is how you should perceive it if you're having a lot of conflict in your home, because the people that you are with are not on an enlightenment path. This is because this is the easiest way for you to proceed once you are living in the fifth dimension. So when you go to the fifth dimension, you're in the fifth dimension. Your family is the fifth dimensional version of them. Your third dimensional self is still in the third dimension. So they're not going to miss you. It's not like you just suddenly disappear. You're going to be there. It's just going to be your third dimensional self. Because remember, we're multidimensional. We can be in many dimensions at once. We can be in parallel universes. We can be completely off of Earth. We could be on a parallel Earth. We could be on a different time, in a different time loop. So the whole thing has to do with our multidimensionality. So once you get that in your brain, that you can experience life in the fifth dimension, and you can still have your third dimensional people in your life. Because I don't know about you, but I don't have anybody except for my sister who lives in Oregon and I live in Maine in my life that's on an ascension journey. All my friends are online. I don't have anybody in my vicinity that is going through or doing the things that I'm doing. There is no one. But I can think of my husband and my 3 sons as being in the fifth dimension, and I have done it over the last 2 days. I have used this technique that he's given me, and it has completely changed things for me. I'm seeing magic everywhere, and I'll tell you about that in a minute because I want to finish this. It's almost done. Expect joy, expect magic, expect that you are in the fifth dimension. Allow your higher self to come into your heart space and run your show. And yes, this is a show. It is a game you are playing. A game you came here fully knowing that you were going to forget who you were. You came here fully knowing you were going to be in duality. You came here fully knowing that you would experience the toughest things that you've ever experienced, but the expansion that you would receive would be exponential. But now it is time to treat yourself the way that you are supposed to be treated, and that is a magical being of God. That you are a being of God, a fractal of God. But that doesn't mean that you're not still part of God. You are part of God, and therefore you are perfect. And I know how that sounds, but let him finish. In every way. So there is nothing for you to fix. There is only for you to lay your ego aside and allow your higher self to step in and assist you with this new growth pattern that creates your new paradigm, which you will become accustomed to if you practice this every day, day in and day out. As you practice this, you will realize that you are never disconnected from the one. You are never disconnected from us because we are part of the one, and you are never disconnected from your true self. And this is the most important part of this journey, is reconnecting to your true self. We cannot reiterate this enough. Love yourself completely and unconditionally without judgment. If the judgment comes up, thank your ego. Let it pass like a cloud going by in your mind's eye. It is being taken away from you, and you no longer have to have that judgment. Just allow yourself to be perfect, because that's how God made you. He made every single cell in your body perfect. Every single cell in your body is perfect. God does not make anything that is not perfect. This does not mean that you allow your ego to control others or to force your perfection onto others. This means that you love yourself as the perfection that you are, and you go through the day in a humble, sincere, loving, light service. And that's very important. Don't let your ego say, well, I'm perfect, so I can't do anything wrong. No, you still have to go by the rules of engagement, so to speak. You still have to be considerate and be compassionate and be loving and be kind and all those things, because every single one of us is perfect and as a fractal of God. So every single person that you're interacting with, you should love unconditionally without judgment. And I know how hard that is. So don't leave in the comment, oh my God, are you kidding me? No, I'm not kidding you. You really have to. And it takes time, and it takes your mind a little bit to get into that frame of mind, but it is the truth, because we are all one. This is all an illusion. It's all an illusion. So if you're not loving yourself completely, then you're not in your power. And this is what he's getting at. You have the power to create your reality. You have the power to create magic in your life. You have the power to have your life be the way that you want it to be. So if you treat yourself and others love unconditionally without judgment, and you put yourself in the fifth dimension and you say, how is my husband or my wife going to be in the fifth dimension? How are my sons or my daughters going to be in the fifth dimension? How is my mother or my father going to be in the fifth dimension? What kind of people are they in the fifth dimension? And just imagine what it would be like to have somebody in the fifth dimension that is loving and kind and loving you unconditionally without judgment. Imagine what that would be like. It's amazing. It's amazing. So the next thing that he says is, I hope you understand what I'm trying to convey to you. If not, please leave a question in the comments and I will elaborate further. At the moment, this is all that I have to convey to you, and I want to thank you for listening to me. This has been a pleasure to come through you and give Rebecca these channels. I love you. We all love you. And we all send you love in waves that will wash through you when you connect to us. And that is what Rebecca means by big love waves. That is all. Go in peace. God bless. So be it. And I just want to tell you about this because this was really, really cool. So I went to a retreat, and no, it wasn't a cult. That's what happened when I got home. My stepson goes, you weren't in a cult, were you? No, they were a bunch of normal people just like me that just love people unconditionally without judgment. Oh my God. And so I went there and we were in this love bubble, 22 women and 2 men. And we were in this love bubble of just being sweet and kind and generous and just loving. And we helped each other bring our gifts out, and we did a lot of channeling, and we did just all kinds of, connecting to nature because we were in the woods. Connecting to nature. We had a big bonfire and sung, campfire songs. And we just did a lot of really fun things like that. And got to know each other and got to know ourselves too. We got to know ourselves a little better too. And it was just wonderful. I'd never been with that many people and felt that way before, especially women, because women like to gossip. And it was none of that. There was no egoic, I'm better than you, or you're better than me. There was none of that. And so I'm driving home, and it was in Canada, and I live in Maine. So I know that the parts of Canada are like not very far away, but this was. And so I went with 2 other friends. One lived in New Hampshire, and one lived in Connecticut. So I drove to Connecticut. I drove to New Hampshire, picked up the one friend, and then drove to Connecticut, and then we took her car to Canada. And then when we came back, we dropped the friend in New Hampshire off in Massachusetts. No, it wasn't Massachusetts. It was another state anyways. Before we got to Connecticut, we dropped her off, and then we went to Connecticut, and then I came home by myself. So I'm driving home, and I got mixed up, and I thought I needed to get off, and I got off, and I wasn't on a secondary highway. I was in a neighborhood, and there were all these trees like going over like an archway, which I always love. And I got really scared because I was like, oh my God, I don't know where I am. And my GPS went out. And we had been connecting to the trees that whole week. I was there for a week. That whole week, we had been connecting to the trees and just feeling the love of the trees and sending the trees love and, just that whole dynamic. And here are these trees, and I'm starting to go into a little mini panic because I don't know how to do, fix this. And Archangel Raphael came in and said, just keep driving, drive a little bit farther, and the GPS will come back. So I did. And when I did, I felt the love from the trees. It was like they were hugging me. It was this little piece of magic that I had when I was there. I had it for that moment where I was starting to have an anxiety attack. And I suddenly realized I don't need to have an anxiety attack anymore. I don't need that. That's not something I need. I don't need it. Oh, that's going wrong. Let's have an anxiety attack. That's a 3rd dimensional thought. But if you have there's the trees, and I've been, connecting to them all week and receiving love and giving love. And the next thing I know, I'm connecting to these trees that are doing that archway. And I really did feel like I was getting a hug. It was so cool. And the next thing I knew, GPS was back. I'm back on the highway and I'm coming home. So that's one example of magic. Then today, I met with a group of my friends on Zoom, and we were talking. We just had kind of a magical chat. And I got done and I went to the laundry room to do my wash. And I was took my wash out of the wash machine and I put it in the dryer and I pushed the button. It says 144. And I'm like, okay, that's awesome. And then I put the next load in the wash machine and pushed the button. It says 111. That's magic. There's magic because it's saying, hey, we're here. We're here. And we're going to carry that magic forward. You just had a magical moment. Let's have some more. So this is what I'm talking about. You can find the magic in almost anything, if you're open to it. And in my classes, I teach you 4 things that is in every single class. 1 is allow. The 2nd is intention. 3rd is acknowledgement. And 4th is action. And action can be telling somebody or writing it down. So those are the 4 steps. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. In my next episode, I'm going to show you how to scry with water. So that'll be exciting. And please like, subscribe, and share, and leave me a comment because this is the very first video. And from this video to the next video, that will set whether or not this channel will be successful. So I really, really need your help. And I really, really, really appreciate you. And I'm going to send you all a big love wave from Archangel Raphael, from me, from him, through me to you. Love to all. Bye-bye for now.